All right, here's a closer look of John Jones' location. I'll try to explain on how his body was positioned and give you an idea. Now, this is the size of the hole, okay? All right. So John goes all the way in, thinking that this is part of the birth canal. Goes all the way down here, goes right here, and basically he's got one arm on the side, one arm above him. This is when he realized he's stuck and he can't move. So he calls his brother up for help. His brother comes, and his brother made the decision to come in feet first instead of head first. So his brother comes around this corner. He puts his feet all the way down into the hole and tries to grab a hold of John's feet and tries to push as John's pushing at the same time. That didn't work. So his brother told him that he's going to go and get help. And this is his body position, okay? So John's feet was about right here, okay? His head was down in there. He had an arm on one side and an arm over his head. All right. You see how tall this is. All right. Imagine trying to get something over this. So the plan was they thought about breaking his legs. Because if they can break his legs, then they might be able to configure it in a way to where they can get him out. But they came to the conclusion, in order for that to work, they were going to have to break his legs above the kneecap. And they clearly couldn't get to him to be able to do that. So their next thing was installing a pulley system to try to just wedge his body out. So they basically put a anchor point right here at the base. They had another anchor point out here, and it just went on and on. All right, and slowly but surely they were able to get him to a 45-degree angle. So basically his feet were about right here, and he wasn't fully vertical, but he was able to sit comfortably. Unfortunately, as they were in the process of pulling him up, one of the pulleys snapped, causing injury to a paramedic or a rescuer that was down there with them, causing that rescuer to get knocked out, lost a lot of blood. They had to have another rescuer come in and rescue that rescuer. And I believe, so about after 28 hours or so, as Brandon Kowalis, he was down here, and as he was down here talking to John, he said John's feet started shaking violently for a few seconds and then stops. So then he goes and tries to call out to John, has no response. So he makes his way all the way back to the entrance and lets the paramedics know what happened. And that's when they said that that he most likely went into cardiac arrest. So they sent a paramedic, was able to get down here, and basically they reached their hand in and touched John's leg for a pulse, and that's when they called the time of death. John unfortunately passed away, and they made a decision to seal the cave, and he is there to this day as a tomb.